If there is one thing Indonesians love talking about, besides summer levels, traffic jams, and whose wedding invitation came last minute, it is technology. Over the past decade, technology has shaped our daily lives in ways that sometimes feels magical. We edit videos on laptops that used to struggle running solitaire. We design posters on tablets that once were used only to play Fruit Ninja. And we run entire businesses from a device smaller than a gorengan. But in 2025, something unexpected happened in the tech world. Yup, the prices of RAM and SSD suddenly going up like the price of chili pepper during rainy season. And the Indonesian creator economy, which depend heavily on these tiny pieces of silicon, felt it like a slap from reality. To understand why creators were affected, we must first understand what RAM and SSD actually do. Most of people often mistake RAM for that thing you upgrade so your computer stop lagging. Well, they are not wrong, but RAM is basically the computer's short-term memory where the system temporarily keeps things while you're working on them. If you are a video editor working on a 4K clip, the RAM is the space where all your timelines, effects, and media files are recalled instantly. Think of RAM like your walking table. If you have a big table, you can spread out all your nuts, snacks, and coffee cups while pretending to be productive. If you have a tiny table, you will constantly drop things, bump into stuff, and probably cry. That's exactly what computers do with insufficient RAM. They drop frames, they're lagging, and sometimes they stare at you with a frozen screen as if saying, "Why you bully me?" Meanwhile, SSD is long-term storage. It's like your cupboard or wardrobe, where everything stays. Videos, photos, games, and 6-7% of your thesis title, finals, fake final, new fixed final, real fixed final. Without a fast SSD, your files take ages to load, and creators cannot afford that delay because in the digital world, time is literally money and Wi-Fi. So, why did RAM and SSD prices rise so dramatically? So, here's the main problem. Surprisingly, it is something most of us use every day without thinking. Yup, artificial intelligence, AI. An AI models require massive amounts of RAM-like memory called HBM, high bandwidth memory, and enormous storage capacity to train gigantic data sets. Companies like Nvidia, Google, Meta, and OpenAI are building AI systems so huge that could swallow the storage of the entire Jakarta population and still ask for dessert. Training an advanced AI model requires thousands of gigabytes of memory, something your gaming PC with 16 gigs of RAMs would faint just thinking about. The main issue is that memory manufacturers like Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron saw that selling memory to AI companies is far more profitable than selling consumer DDR4 and DDR5 RAM. Imagine you are selling fried rice. If one customer says, "I'll buy 10 portions," and another say, "I'll buy 10,000 portions," which one will you prioritize? Exactly, AI. AI companies are the people ordering 10,000 plates of fried rice, which the fried rice is RAM and SSD components. Manufacturers shifted production lines toward enterprise-grade memory instead of consumer memory. As a result, global supply of everyday RAM and SSD shrank dramatically. And when supply shrinks while demand stays the same, or even increases, price like upward like a BTS comeback trend. In Indonesia, the effect was immediate. PC resellers reported that RAM shipments arriving in smaller quantities, while distributors said that the price had to be adjusted because factories were charging more and more. Some sellers even remove the price tags altogether and replacing them with the phrase we all fear. Check your DM, sir. That phrase alone is the digital equivalent of prepare your wallet. Creators on tight budget began panicking. Some even prayed that their old RAM would magically grow if watered at night. Spoiler, it didn't. A regular RAM 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM that once cost around 1.6 million rupiah suddenly jumped above 3 million rupiah. And SSD prices follow. For creators, the difference matter. A YouTuber in Bandung can buy 2 months of anime stock with that. A freelance animator in Surabaya could buy a second-hand bicycle. And a TikTok content creator in Bali could buy a nice tripod with a ring light, or at least half of one. The Indonesian creator economy was already competitive before RAM prices exploded. With millions of people making videos, editing reels, designing logos, building online shops, and streaming games, the infrastructure cost plays as a massive role. You can't edit cinematic drone footage on a laptop with 4 gigs of RAM unless you enjoy suffering. You cannot render a 10-minute video with transition, color grading, and motion graphic using an SSD slower than Angkot going uphill. But with prices soaring, many creators had to postpone upgrades or work with the outdated hardware. Imagine being a content creator or video editor trying to render a project on 5-year-old laptop. The CPU screams like a kettle about to explode. The RAM reaches 90% and start begging for mercy. The SSD runs out of space mid-render, and you sit there, staring at the not responding windows as if were your ex who left you on red. This scenario became more common than ever. For streamers, the situation was equally painful. Many Indonesian streamers rely on mid-range gaming PCs, and these require decent RAM and SSD storage to run games, live stream software, and background process. With memory's price doubling, new streamers hesitate entering the field, while existing streamers had to delay upgrades that could improve their stream quality. Viewers often complain, "Dude, why is it lagging?" But they don't realize that behind the scenes, the RAM is working overtime, like a civil servant before rebahan bonus. Digital freelancers also felt the pressure. Graphic designers, web developers, and small animation studios found that upgrading their workstation suddenly required double the budget. For businesses operating on thin margins, this was a crisis. A 10-person micro studio in Yogyakarta calculated that upgrading their team PCs as a plan would cost 20 to 30 million rupiah extra. That's equivalent to several months of operational expenses or 4,000 cups of boba tea, depending on what you worship financially. The Indonesian creator economy is fast and lively, but it is fragile. Most of creators are independent workers or small teams. They don't have a big corporate budget. They depend heavily on affordable equipment. When the cost of essential hardware rises, their growth slows. Some creators compensate by lowering video quality or shortening content. Others switch to mobile editing, which work for simple projects but not for professional clients demanding 4K footage, motion tracking, or maybe complex audio mixing. An alternative solutions? Of course, Indonesians being Indonesians. Many found creative and humorous ways to cope with this crisis. The second-hand market became a battlefield of bargaining skills. Facebook Marketplace and Tokopedia pre-love section were flooded with ads like 14 gigs of RAM. It's rarely used only for browsing and texting. Or SSD full filled with vital memories for sale cheaply. people started trading components the way villagers trade durian, with intense negotiation, suspicions, and dramatic overreacting. Some creators turned to cloud-based tools like online editing platforms, but this solution requires fast internet or something not evenly available across Indonesia. In major cities, cloud editing is viable. In rural area, however, even downloading a stock photo can feel like waiting for a turtle to finish a marathon. So, the migration to cloud tools is happening, but slowly. There is also a subtle cultural shift happening. Many creators are learning to reduce file size, compress footage, and organize storage more efficiently. Some joke that AI is forcing them to become cleaner, more responsible humans. After years of throwing everything into the same folder named New Folder 83, creators are finally learning to manage storage like an adult. Now we talk about limitation, effect, and prediction. Despite the humorous side of adaptation, the impact is remain serious. Some potential creators delay entering the field. Others feel discouraged. Indonesia has enormous creative potential, the kind that can turn simple village stories into viral narratives and transform everyday humor into national entertainment. But when technology becomes too expensive to access, that potential risks being limited to those who can afford the tools, leaving behind talented people who simply cannot pay for rising hardware costs. Looking into the future, analysts predict that these high prices may remain until 2026 or 2027. Memory manufacturing takes years to expand. Factories are expensive to build. Supply chains are complex, and AI demand continues growing like a child who won't stop eating. The AI industry's consumption of memory is not slowing down, it's accelerating. Every new AI model requires more RAM and more storage, and every company wants to build the next big AI. In such conditions, creators must become more strategic. The silver lining in Indonesian creators are known for their resilience. They adapt, they improvise, and job through the problems. They create content with minimal resources. They turn limitation into style. The rising hardware costs might slow some down, but it won't stop the wave of creativity sweeping the nation. In the end, the story of rising RAM and SSD prices is not just about hardware. It is about economic tensions, creative resilience, and also the collation between global AI development and local creator ecosystem. Indonesian creators now face a new challenge, but they face it with humor, determination, and that classic Indonesian spirit of okay, just let's figure it out. AI may be rapidly eating up the world's memory supply, pushing RAM and SSD prices higher and forcing creators everywhere to rethink how they work. But Indonesian creators will continue to find ways to create and adapt, whether by carefully optimizing their workflows, upgrading their hardware little by little when budgets allow, relying more heavily on cloud-based tools, hunting for reliable second-hand components, or even half-jokingly praying that their old laptops survive just one more heavy render. And in the end, despite all the talk about storage limits, processing power, and technological constraints, creativity itself has never truly lived inside RAM stick or SSD. It lives inside people, their ideas, resilience, and determination, and Indonesia. With its rich culture and endlessly intensive community, has never lacked that kind of creative spirit. And that's all. Thank you for listening and see you again next time.